If somebody asked you what is the most important thing that you have to master in the golf swing, what would you say? Well, this question was posed to the two greatest golfers of all time, Tiger Woods and Jack Nicklaus, and both of them had the same answer, interestingly. Tiger Woods, when he introduced his son Charlie to the golfing world, when he played at the father-son tournament for the first time, reporters asked Tiger, what is it that you're working on in Charlie's swing? Now, I imagine the whole golfing world kind of paused for a second, got really quiet, because here we have one of the greatest ball strikers, if not the greatest ball striker of all time, teaching his own flesh and blood the game, just like we would all want to learn. Who wouldn't love to sit at Tiger's heels and learn from the best? Charlie has that opportunity, and here's what Tiger said. When they asked him, what is he teaching Charlie? Nothing. I'm not teaching him anything, Tiger said. Tiger said he wants him to learn how to swing fast before anything else. He can always learn how to straighten it out later. Interesting. Now, Jack Nicklaus, Tiger's idol, actually said the same thing. When somebody asked Jack Nicklaus, you've got a new student, what is it that you would teach this golfer first and above all else? What is the most important thing you'd want them to learn? And Jack said, I want them to learn how to swing fast. I want them to learn how to create clubhead speed. They can always learn how to control it later. That's interesting, isn't it? Most golfers don't think about speed much at all. They just kind of are resolved to the idea that I can't swing fast. I'm always going to hit my driver 230, 240, maybe 250 if I get lucky and the stars align, the moon's in the right position, but I'm always going to swing in that 90 to 95 mile an hour range. It doesn't have to be that way. It shouldn't be that way. Speed is not only simple to create in the swing, but most importantly, it's from the horse's mouths themselves, from Tiger and Jack, it's the most important part of the swing. So you cannot resolve to just be swinging at 90 to 95 miles an hour for the rest of your life. Golf will always be a struggle, and it's not hard to create speed. I'm going to show you how in just a moment. Now, the second thing that they said, you got to learn how to control it, right? So having all the speed in the world, there's only so much value to that. If you hit it 2 fairways over on one hole and 1 fairway over the next, you don't know where the ball is going, that speed isn't doing you a lot of good. In order to have this speed and harness it and control it, the second most important part of the golf swing is understanding swing plane. Now, you look at my swing on right now on the screen, you compare my swing plane to Tiger's, they're very, very similar. They're very simple. You'll notice that the club moves back on almost an identical plane on the backswing as it does on the downswing, and even the follow through. Now, here's what's funny about that. How many of you guys work on your swing plane? Work on it in training aids, maybe you use one of those giant inverted hula hoops to slide the club back and forth, and yet your swing plane still looks like crap. Guess how much I work on my swing plane? Never. I never work on my swing plane. I don't sit in one of those hula hoop things. I don't use training aids or put shafts in the ground. Swing plane is a byproduct of the exact same movement that you use to create speed. Think about that for a moment. The exact same movement in the golf swing that you have to use to create the most efficient amount of speed in the golf swing is the exact same movement that creates this perfect swing plane that you see on the screen. I'm not trying to create a swing plane. I'm actually only doing this with my right arm. That's it. That same movement is the exact same movement that creates the speed in the swing. If you can do this, you can swing perfectly on plane, immediately stop swinging over the top or under the plane, immediately swing on plane, have lag, and have speed. But the third most important part of the golf swing is that we have to have that club face square to the path at impact. Now, some of you are saying, well, wait a second, isn't path more important than swing plane? You can see somebody like Jim Furyk take it way outside and drop it back under. Swing plane happens first. Swing path happens as a result of your swing plane and the release. So when you understand that, understand the chicken and the egg, the swing plane happens first, the path happens as a result of the swing plane and the release of the club. And the release of the club not only generates all the speed in your swing as a result of this rotation movement that I'm going to talk about in just a moment, but it is what actually causes the club face to naturally square through impact without you trying. So most golfers, if they hit a slice, 95% of the golfers on the planet swing over the top and slice it. And so they start moving the grip stronger and stronger and stronger. Maybe you're trying this and they start aiming further and further left because they know they're going to swing over the top and hit a big banana ball. But you can strengthen your grip until it's upside down it's still not going to fix the problem. You're still going to swing over the top because you don't understand the movement, the cohesive movement that ties together speed, swing plane, and a square club face. And all three of these things, which are the three most important parts of the golf swing, are all related. Not only just related, they're the exact same thing. It's the exact same movement that creates all three of these things. So, if you had to understand just three things about the golf swing, it would be, one, you have to create speed, or the game will always be a struggle. You will always have a difficult time with golf. You have to swing the club on plane. You cannot swing over the top for the rest of your life and just Band-Aid fix it together with goofy golf clubs that have the club face shut or crazy grip or aiming further left. That doesn't work. And lastly, you have to get that club face to square to the path naturally, and that's a result of the release. All three of these things are done by simply understanding how to do this with your arm in the golf swing. If you can do this, you can swing faster, you can hit the ball straighter, and you can hit the ball consistently online without having to try and do all these crazy manipulations in your golf swing. It's that simple. The three most important things, speed, plane, and squaring that club face through the release, are all that matters. If you knew nothing else about the golf swing but understood those three things, you would play better golf. And you cannot buy this in a golf club. You cannot buy this in a training aid. A $600 driver, it's not going to help you swing any faster. It's not going to hit the ball any straighter. It's not going to help you release the club. It's not going to teach you to swing on plane. You can spend $5,000 on a driver or a custom set of clubs. They won't change a thing about the movement that is creating the problems in the golf swing for you. And the movement, again, is just this. If you can do this, you can hit the ball straighter, you can hit the ball higher, you can hit the ball more penetrating, and you can hit the ball much further, like you're seeing with the students that I've tested this with, who are all of a sudden picking up 20, 30 yards, and in Pedro's case, the original one I did this in person with, almost 60 yards off the tee in 3 days. And the movements that I taught him is this in a sequence. A specific sequence that helps you feel what the golf swing is supposed to feel like. This one cohesive movement that teaches you how speed, swing plane, and the release are all the same thing. I know it sounds crazy, right? Wait, those are three different things, right? No, they are one and the same. If you're trying to make the golf swing into 3 different things or 10 different things and position the club here and then, okay, now do this and now do this and do that, how's that working out for you? It's not going to work very well if you don't have the underlying movement that ties the whole golf swing together, that makes it make sense, that makes it click and clears all the other clutter and crap out of your mind, because that's what's holding you back more than anything. You have to understand these 3 things, the 3 priorities in the golf swing, and how they're all tied together through one movement, and that's exactly what I'm going to share with you in this video. You can spend $600 on a driver, won't change a thing. Hundreds of dollars in training aids, they won't change a thing. But understanding and feeling how speed is generated and how it creates a proper swing plane and how that leads itself to releasing the club facing, squaring at impact and every time, that is the secret to the game. And that's what this program is all about. That's all I'm offering you is a result. I'm going to show you how you have to move your arm in a sequence that you've done probably gazillions of times but just never correlated it to the golf swing. And once you see how it all clicks together, you're going to finally understand why you've struggled, and you're going to immediately be able to pick up speed, be able to pick up accuracy, and be much more consistent, have a much more solid strike every single time, because you're finally going to see the forest for the trees. You're going to see the big picture of the golf swing and understand the golf swing isn't hard. Golf instruction just makes it seem that way.